Hello, welcome. How are you all? I hope you all are fine. Welcome to the platform of Chronicle IAS. Today we are going to discuss the subject related question of geography in UP-PCS question paper which is expected in your examination. So we are, without wasting of time, we are taking the first topic or the first question. Discuss the bottom relief of Indian Ocean. We come to the topic. Just simply I want to explain, discuss the bottom relief feature of Indian Ocean. Firstly, I want to tell you, before we are going to start, firstly we are going to identify what kind of nature of question have and what is the demand of the question. What is the demand of the question? Demand of the question. In the first glance, this question is very factual. This question demands the bottom topography of Indian Ocean. How we will approach this question? There are so many approach, but I want to tell you how we can approach this question. We can approach this question like Indian Ocean is the third largest ocean, and it's surrounded by north by Asia, east by Asia, west by Africa, and south by Antarctica. You can start with a general introduction. You can also start with the geological basis, like Indian Ocean is originated by or Indian Ocean is a product of plate movement, and it is a integral part of Gondwana land and separates around 80 million years ago. You can start with this. Either you can start with this or you can start with this. What is the means of bottom topography? The bottom topography, it means we just simply explain what kind of relief feature, or what kind of, you can say that, what kind of topographic elevation in the ocean's bottom. Suppose that this is the Indian Ocean bottom. So it start from continental shelf to continental slope to continental rise, continental rise to abyssal plain, abyssal plain. Abyssal, let me rewrite. Abyssal plain. So in this question we have to just talk about the continental shelf, we just talk about the continental slope, we just talk about the continental rise, and we just talk about the abyssal plain. Okay, now we are going to just simply put it down some facts about the ocean bottoms with the help of map. Because geography is all about the graphical representation, so we should always keep in mind that without the geographical representation it cannot be more mark gaining. Here this is, and here this is the Antarctica. You just simply put it down this figure, and you also mention some ridges. This is (90° east). This is Carlsberg Ridge. This is Lakkadiv Ridge. This is the Atlantic Indian Ridge, and here there is a ridge which is called Indian Australian Ridge. So you have to mention some of the name. You have to mention some of the name, like this is Carlsberg Ridge. This is Carlsberg Ridge. This is Chagos Lakkadiv Ridge. This is 90° east ridge. This is Atlantic Indian Ridge, and this is South Australian Ridge. You have to just simply put it down some facts here, like north of Australian Ridge is Tasman Basin. Here there is a Cocos Basin. Don't get confused with the Cocos Basin, which is in the western side of Australia, which is the western side of North America. And here there is another basin which is known as Somalian Basin. Here there is another basin which is known as Aghalwas Basin. and here there is another basin is known as Arabian Basin. Arabian Basin. And here there is another basin which is known as Andaman Basin. You can also put it down so many facts in the figure. There is no need to explain it. Some of you can explain, like this is the graphical representation of the bottom topography of Indian Ocean. This is the 90-degree east ridge. This is the Carlsberg ridge. This is the Chagos Lakkadweep ridge. This is the Agulhas basin. This is Atlantic Indian ridge, which is separate Atlantic Ocean from the Indian Ocean from the 20-degree longitude. And this 90-degree east ridge separates Indian plate to the Australian plate. Okay. Now you have to mention some of the facts about the continental shelf. About the continental shelf. You can put it down. The continental shelf of the Indian Ocean is varying from region to region, but normally the continental shelf of Indian Ocean is 75 km from the beach line. Okay, now you can mention the continental shelf of Indian Ocean is very rich in biotic minerals. You can put it down this. Also, you can put it down the continental shelf of Indian Ocean is formed by tectonic activity. You can also put it down tectonic activity as well as some of the coastal submergence. And on the continental slope, you can mention that continental slope. The continental slope of Indian Ocean is also vary in width. It vary between 200 km to 600 km. And continental slope have some features like some of the basins or some of the canyons. You have to mention some of the name, and then you just simply put it down. You have to just simply put it down the abyssal plain or the deep ocean plain. It is 75%. It covers 75% of the total area of the Indian Ocean, and it have some polymetallic nodules in Indian Ocean, like cobalt nodule, so you have to just keep one thing in your mind. In the question, we have to discuss continental shelf, we have to discuss abyssal plain, we have to discuss continental slope, and without this figure you cannot attract more numbers, because this figure tell us a lot. You cannot, there is no need to explain how the Chagos and Lakkadweep ridge is formed. How you can just simply put it down the Carlsberg ridge. You can put it down the formation of Carlsberg ridge because it is the divergent plate boundary. And as earlier I mentioned that the 90-degree east ridge is separating from Indian plate to the Australian plate. Just you have to simply put it down all these things. In conclusion, you can say that on the concurrent, on the present geopolitics, on the present day geopolitics, Indian Ocean play a crucial role because important trade routes passing over the Indian Ocean, and you have to just simply put it one word also. The oceans are the last hope of mankind, so that the bottom of Indian Ocean, we cannot ignore it because they have the high potential of minerals. Okay, this is the approach you can carry during your examination. I hope that will clear. So the question is, analyze the cause of location of major deserts in the world. Analyze the cause of the location of major deserts in the world. Look at the question. Firstly, when we are appearing or approaching towards the question, we have to think about something, what the demand of the question is. किस तरह का डिमांड क्वेश्चन में है? तो कह रहा है analyze the cause of location of major deserts in the world. Question wants कि why the deserts are located in a particular location they are at present. कि भाई जो deserts हैं वो वहीं पर क्यों हैं जहां हैं? There are any specific reason? तो in this question क्या करना है भाई? Firstly find out the tail word. तो tail word क्या है? tail word है analyze करना है, मतलब एनालिसिस करना है, इसके बारे में बताना है, फाइंड आउट करना है व्हाट आर द मेजर रीजंस बिहाइंड द लोकेशन ऑफ द डेजर्ट्स. ओके, नाउ वी आर कम टू द model answer of this question, and model answer should not be ideal because any answer cannot claim as a ideal answer. There is always a scope of reform, there is always a scope of updation. So in the intro you should start from the definition of desert. Either you should start from the definition of desert, or you should start from the general simplification of the question. So starting from this point of view, deserts are the reason of less than 25 centimeter annual rainfall. The area which receives less than 25 centimeter of annually rainfall, that area is called desert. And we can broadly categorize desert into two parts. One is hot deserts, and second one is cold deserts. You can also call cold deserts as a polar deserts, or you can call it temperate deserts. Temperate deserts. And here you can call it the tropical desert. You can start like this. The desert is the area or the region which receives less than 25 centimeter of annual rainfall. Or you can either start from the formation or the location of deserts. The formation and the location of desert is not random. Is not random. It is because of influenced by many factors like atmospheric factors, like oceanic factors. So you can start like this. The deserts are not randomly found any particular location. It is because of the geographical, altitudinal, latitudinal, atmospheric and oceanic complex phenomena behind the formation of deserts. You can start like this. Okay. Now we are again back to the question, what is the reason behind the formation of deserts? Region should be divided into two parts. One is anthropogenic and natural regions, and second one is anthropogenic regions. Natural region, we can also categorize the deserts into two parts. Firstly, now we are going to discuss hot deserts. The first reason of the formation of hot deserts lies into the high pressure regions. Most of the deserts, the hot deserts lies in the high pressure zone. The second reason is the presence of cold upwelling zone. Third reason is under the influence of trade wind. Fourth reason is away from the impact of ITCZ. Away from the impact of ITCZ. Fifth reason is not under the influence of temperate cyclones which carried by the westerlies. Okay, these are the some regions, and you can write down the sixth reason is along the deserts, hot deserts, there is a correlation with the cold oceanic currents. There is a deep connection with the cold oceanic currents. So these are the reasons you should not you can say that there is a no need to explain all these things, but you have to just put it down. High pressure zone, we all are know that. We all are know that hot deserts were formed because this is equator and this is 30° north and this is 30° south. We all are know that most of the deserts are lies between 15° north to 30° north as well as south. This is the zone of high pressure. Why this is the zone of high pressure? Because we all are know that in the equatorial area the sun rays are vertical, perpendicular and straight throughout the region, and that's why this region receives the intense insolation. So when the earth gets heated, the air lies over the earth also gets heated and rise up, and it develops low pressure. And because here is a water body is more, than this condition will provide a more moisture, and that's why this area receives more rainfall, and the dry airs moves and sinks down here. When the dry air sinks down, it suppresses the moisture taking winds as well. So when it suppresses down, it creates the anti-cyclonic conditions. Anti-cyclonic condition, which is the opposite condition of cyclone, or cyclonic condition, it means the condition of rainfall. So this is the anticyclonic condition. Okay, and this is also called horse latitude. And the second one, I just want to tell you the another reason. Suppose that this is the continent, this is the water body, this is 10° north and this is 13° north, and this is another continent. We all know that when the trade winds are blowing over the continent, trade winds, the direction of trade winds in the northern hemisphere is northeast to southwest. When they are passing over the ocean, they are pushing and carry forward the warmer surface water away from the coast and pile up towards the eastern margin of any continental coast. It means that area receive more rainfall, and this area receives less rainfall. In the western side of continent, when the trade winds are moving away from the oceanic surface, the moisture goes on reduce. When the moisture goes on reducing, it means when the trade winds are reaching towards the western part of continent, it will be less, it will have less moisture, so it brings less rainfall. And again, suppose that this is another water body, then when there is a transferring of, or there are transferring of warmer water, so here is a upwelling of cold water in both the sides. So along the western part of continent, there is a presence of cold ocean water, there is a presence of cold upwelling water, and it will further lead to the condition of cold ocean current. Is it okay? Okay. Next reason is it is away from the ITCZ. Why it is away from the ITCZ? We all know that it is a zone of high pressure, and ITCZ is the zone of low pressure, and there is a formation of ITCZ, it means trade winds, both the trade winds want to meet and bring the rainfall, and that's why ITCZ is known as the cyclonic region. So this is a cyclonic region as well, and we all know that the cyclonic region, it means the region of heavy rainfall. Is it okay? Okay, now It is also away from the temperate cyclones. It is also away from the temperate cyclone. Why it is away from the temperate cyclone? Look at the map again. This is 0 degree, this is 30 degree, and this is 60 degree, roughly north, north, and this is the area of westerlies, and westerlies are carrying moisture from the ocean and hit in the western part of continent. But the deserts are formed between, or you can say that the area between 15 to 30 degree, and it is not under the influence of westerlies. Okay, these are the reasons. These are the reasons you can keep in your mind. And then there is another reason another reason we cannot ignore is the anthropogenic reasons. Anthropogenic reasons, because we all are know that because our day by day the demand of urbanization has been increased, and to fulfill to meet the demand of urbanization, we cut the trees or highest level of deforestation. It will lead the condition of desertification, because when we cut the trees, it will, you can say that the exploit, or you can say that the moisture which kept into the soil has been exposed. तो ये भी एक रीजन है. तो desertification क्यों हो रहा है? Because of faster rate of deforestation. Okay, now we come to another discussion of temperate deserts. Temperate deserts. What are the reason of formation of temperate deserts? So there are so many reasons. The first one is the lies in the area of less insolation, high altitude, less rainfall, lies in the interior part of continent. Lies in the interior part of continent, or you can say that away from the ocean. Okay, now you just put it down the map of the world. You just simply put it down. This is called the pictographic map. Here there is a Australia. This is the Europe. Okay, and this is the area of cold desert, Antarctica. You have to just put it down some name like Patagonian desert, Patagonian desert. Here is a Sonoran desert. Here is a Saharan desert, Sahara desert. Here is a Thar desert. Thar desert, here is a Gobi desert, here is a Victoria desert, okay. You have to just simply put it down. There is no need to put it down all the names, because you have to remind the time limit as well. So in the conclusion you can just put it down, okay, because of the anthropogenic as well as the natural reason, the rate of desertification has been increased, which is severely impacted the agricultural needs of human, because the population day by day, each passing day, the population has been increased. So the desertification, you can say that we take the step to conquer the desertification. Okay. We are going to discuss the next question. Critically examine the India's National Population Policy 2000. Before we are going to solve the question, firstly, the most important thing to decode the question. The most important thing is that to decode the question, because decoding give you the idea what kind of approach question needs, and if you do decode well the question, that means you are able to identify and meet the demand of the question. In this question, firstly we find out the tail word in the question. Here in this question the tail word is critically examine, and then the first primary keyword in this question is India's National Population Policy 2000. You have to just elaborate. Here the tail word is most important, critically examine. What is the means of critically examine? Critically examine, it doesn't mean that only you are criticizing the India's population policy. It means logically, and you can say logically and scientifically you have to write down the policies pros and cons as well. So the primary keyword is Indian population policy. So what is the intro of this question? What kind of approach in this question? You can write an intro like this, India's population policy 2000 is a landmark document which mainly focusing on the population control in sustainable manner. This is the landmark. You can also write down the intro in form of key Indian population policy is the revolutionary step taken on the date of 15th Feb 2000 under the leadership of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. पर भी ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं. Now, what is the main objective of this policy? What is the main objective of this policy? The main objective of this policy is to ensure the population control in three base or the three parameters. One is the immediate control. Second one is mid-term control. And third one is a long-term control, long term control. Immediate control, what step should be taken? The first step, to meet the unmet demand of unmet contraceptive, to build the better health infrastructure, These are the demands of immediate demand of. And second one is a medium term or mid term demand. What is the mid term demand? The mid term demand is bring population growth, or the TFR at the replacement rate 2.1, and the long term is the on 2045 the population should be stable. And this is the target of 2010. This is what the question demands. This is the objective of immediate, mid-term and long-term. Now, after that you mention in this question socio-demographic targets. Socio-demographic targets 2010. What is the socio-demographic targets of 2010? In 2010, there are almost 15 formulas, or the 15 points of socio-demographic targets are: one is 100% registration of death, birth, 100% target of death, birth, रजिस्ट्रेशन होना चाहिए. नेक्स्ट क्या होगा? प्रमोटिंग delayed marriages, of girls 80 plus. Awareing and giving education of contraceptive. These are the some targets you should mention. Ensure the availability of contraceptives, promote the delayed marriage, achieve the universal immunization of children, reduce MMR below 100 per 1 lakh, reduced infant mortality, reduce infant IFR, infant IMR, not IFR, reduce infant mortality rate below 30 per 1000. And then there are so many targets, but you should keep the word limit in mind. So we are moving to the another part of this policy. There are some type of critical criticism or the constructive criticism in this question. Constructive criticism is the something which you can say that like the TFR rate cannot achieve right now, अभी भी नहीं हो पाया है. There is a lot of disparity amongst the states. Some states are below the TFR rate or below the replacement rate, and some states like the Bimaru states are above the replacement rate. और इसमें और भी क्या है, जैसे इम्प्लीमेंटेशन गैप है, वीक मॉनिटरिंग एंड एवोल्यूशंस है, ओवर रिलायंस ऑन फीमेल स्टरलाइजेशन है. तो these type of uneven regional performances is because the southern states are performing well and the northern states are performing less, like Bimaru states like UP, Bihar, छत्तीसगढ़, वेस्ट बंगाल. तो इस तरह का लैक ऑफ अकाउंटेबिलिटी है कि कोई प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट नहीं. यू हैव टू जस्ट पुट इट डाउन ऑल दिस पॉइंट्स. लिमिटेड फोकस ऑन माइग्रेशन एंड अर्बनाइजेशन है, बिकॉज इट विल ऑल्सो क्रिएट some kind of halo situation. मिस्ड इंटीग्रेटेड एंड इन्वायरमेंटल गोल्स है. तो you should put it all these parameters in this you can say that in this question. ये सारी चीजें आपको लिखनी है और इसके साथ ही इस क्वेश्चन का डिस्कशन एंड हुआ. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, evaluate the development and progress made by India in the field of solar energy. क्या क्या कह रहा है, evaluate करना है. What is the means of evaluate? Firstly we find out in every question the tail word, because tail word give you the direction and give you the sense what kind of expectation from the question, from the examiner, from the aspirant point of view. ठीक, evaluate करना है. What is the means of evaluate? Whenever we are saying that कि evaluate करना है, इसका मतलब है कि उसके pros and cons दोनों बताने हैं. ठीक, the development and progress made by India in the field of solar energy. क्या बताना है, development and progress made by India in the field of solar energy. So you should start from introduction, like India has made a significant progress in the field of solar energy over past decade, become one of the leading solar power producing globally. Or you can start from like this कि India is the 5th largest solar energy production. India is the 5th largest country which produce solar energy, and India also lies in the tropical belt where the solar energy potential is high, where India receives more than 250 days. It is a very unique fact. India more than 250 days receives vertical and intense solar. So that's why India have the highest potential of solar energy. So you should start with this, and now you just shift it to the programs like the Jawaharlal Nehru National Solar Mission 2010 launched under by the National Action Plan on Climate Change. Initial target इसका क्या था, 20 gigawatt by 2022, later revised by 100 gigawatt by the solar capacity by 2022. You can also mention the Paris Agreement, where after the Paris Agreement, India and France, leading countries, are making a institution of International Solar Alliance, which headquarter is in Gurugram. तो इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस भी इंडिया ने बनाया. नेक्स्ट आप क्या लिख सकते हो इसमें, यू शुड मेक द पीएम सूर्य घर मुफ्त बिजली योजना टारगेटेड मार्च 2027 तक 1 करोड़ हाउसेस के ऊपर जो है हमें इंस्टॉल करना है रूफटॉप सोलर पैनल्स को। तो ये एक आप यहां पर बता सकते हो, आप यहां बता सकते हो पीएम कुसुम, पीएम कुसुम योजना, अंडर द पीएम कुसुम योजना Indian government is providing the solar pumps installation for the agriculture, enhancing the agriculture through the renewable energy or through the solar energy to reduce the dependency on the fossil fuels or the fossil fuel energy. Next, PLI प्रोडक्शन लिंक्ड इंसेंटिव क्या किया है हमने, एलोकेट किया है बजट 24,000 करोड़ रुपए बजट एलोकेशन है टू reduce the over dependency on China, and under the made in India program we take the step of PLI. Next, solar park and ultra mega solar schemes. We also launch solar park or ultra mega solar schemes for the private as well as the government sites, private side भी as well as government side. Next क्या है, government also try to reinvest summit for the more investment on solar energy or the renewable energy budget. Why? Because 2030 we have to achieve 500 gigabyte renewable energy production. ये करना है. अब क्या कह रहा है, because you also always you have to remind the word limits, remember the word limits. Okay, so now you should mention some challenges. The first challenge is the land acquisition challenge. लैंड एक्विजिशन चैलेंज. लैंड एक्विजिशन चैलेंज क्या है भाई, कि सबसे बड़ा बात है कि इंडिया में लैंड एक्विजिशन को लेकर के बड़ा सारा एक कॉम्प्लेक्स लॉज बने हुए हैं. बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रीजन लैंड एक्विजिशन इज नॉट इजी टू परचेज अ लैंड और टू लैंड एक्विजिशन करना और उस पर इंस्टॉलेशन ऑफ सोलर करना सोलर प्रोडक्शन के लिए. नेक्स्ट क्या है, स्लो ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ रूफ टॉप सोलर इंस्टॉलेशन. ये है, तो क्या है, एक स्लो रेट है. नेक्स्ट क्या है, लैंड एक्विजिशन इशू बता चुका आपको. डिपेंडेंसी ऑन इंपोर्ट्स, ओवर डिपेंडेंसी है. क्या है, ओवर dependency on import. You should mention this. Next, the fourth one is lack in implementation of the solar energy or the solar policies. Fifth one is lack in monitoring. Sixth one is lack in storage. And the seventh one is lack in proper grid system. This is all about. देखिए कि मतलब क्या क्या challenges आ रहे हैं. अब इसके बाद क्या कर सकते हैं भाई, फ्यूचर में क्या कर सकते हैं, तो ये लिख सकते हो कि इंडिया सोलर एनर्जी, इंडिया कंक्लूजन में कि above all the challenges, above all the challenges and setbacks, above all the challenges and setback, India India's journey to achieve the 500 gigabyte goal is not far away, and whole journey whole journey whole whole journey of India's solar progress is remarkable is remarkable remarkable बट ऐसे लिख सकते हो कि देर इज अ हाई स्कोप ऑफ इनहेंसिंग द कैपेसिटी एज वेल, बट ये एक आपको एक कंक्लूजन लिखना है जो बैलेंस कंक्लूजन है, ठीक. Discuss the next question. How has global uneven distribution of rare earth minerals shaped the geopolitics and international trade? So before we are going to discuss this question, firstly I want to tell you one thing, that you should keep one thing in your mind. Before solving the question, decoding of the question is must. Decode the question because decoding of the question is very important. Here the question is saying that how has uneven distribution of rare earth minerals shaped the geopolitics of the world. How? So this question is asking about कि how the rare earth minerals uneven distribution, इसका मतलब क्या है कि जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है वो यूनानिमस नहीं है, होमोजीनस नहीं है. तो how has uneven distribution of rare earth minerals shaped the geopolitics of the world? Look at the question once again. How has global uneven distribution of rare earth minerals shaped the geopolitics and international trade? Okay, now in this question, how you can start? You can start with the general definition of rare earth mineral and some data putting. So rare earth minerals are not so rare as the name like. As the name like earlier 19th centuries, it is rarely found. It is rarely found in the high quantity at particularly in any location. That's why it is called it earth rare earth mineral. It is called rare earth minerals. It is a group of 17 rare earth elements, 15 lanthanides and scandium and erythrium. This is all about the intro. You should start the intro with, it is a group of 17 rare earth minerals, which 15 are the lanthanides and scandium and erythrium. And now you should show on the map on the concentration of the rare earth minerals. Whenever we are saying that use the map with a very pictographic representation, examiner never wants you the very at most pictures. Okay. Make the map this is Australia, and I want to show the rare earth mineral and this is your Greenland. Here there is a concentration of rare earth mineral in Canada, as well as in US, as well as in some part of Brazil, as well as in India, in Australia, in Malaysia, Indonesia, in China there is a high concentration, in Sweden. So this is called uneven distribution of rare earth mineral. No, we are going to discuss more things, how rare earth elements disturbed the geopolitics. How it disturbed the geopolitics? Because its uses disturb, because all the importance of rare earth mineral is hiding behind its use. Its use is multi-sectoral use of rare earth elements. Like it is used in TV, electronic goods, TV, LED, laptop, mobile phones. It also used in LED cameras. It also used in, you can say that, aerospace. It's also used in missiles. It also used in the, you can say that, the weapons industry. It also used in medicine industry. So because of the multi-sectoral use of rare earth minerals, that's why it creates a geopolitical tensions. Why it creates a geopolitical tension? Because 90%, you can mention all these stories, 90% monopoly of China on the trading of rare earth minerals. And we all are know that it is now it's time. There is a trade war between India and US. Because of this reason, there is a choking of rare earth elements, and there is a disturbed chain. Why? Because 90% rare earth elements are extracting, or you can say that trading by China. It is a dominance or monopoly of China. And before tariff war, we have seen so many times where the China is controlling supply chain of rare earth minerals. Now India have also rare earth mineral, but in a low graded quality, But India also want, because India want TV, LED, aerospace, missile, weapons, medicine, because it's a multi-sectoral use of rare earth mineral. Because of this reason, the rare earth minerals are influencing the geopolitics as well as the international trade, because it is a monopoly of China. And some countries like Sweden, Indonesia and Malaysia are initiating, but they have not enough quantity of money, so they can balance the imbalanced trade. Because why I am calling it is the imbalance, because it is a monopoly of China. So in this question you have to just put it a map and showing the rare earth minerals, the locations where there is a some, you can say that the bunch of possibility of rare earth minerals. US, China, Canada, Brazil, India, China, Sweden, Malaysia and Indonesia and Australia have the rare earth mineral. And this is called your intro. And in the conclusion you can mention that the use of rare earth mineral is multi-sectoral. That's why present scenario of the world is concerning, because of one nation monopoly. We should think for alternative options like other alliances which will provide you can say that which will provide the other option of rare earth minerals, which you can say that we make a club of countries which saying that कि भाई हम provide करेंगे. तो इस तरह का कुछ करना पड़ेगा. ठीक, तो ये its overall approach about this question. We are going to discuss the next question. Discuss the mechanism of monsoon. Explain how monsoon is lifeline for overall development. In this question, firstly we are going to discuss and we are going to find out the tail word, discuss, and explain how. The another tail word. There are two tail words in this question. Discuss the mechanism of monsoon and explain how monsoon is the lifeline of overall development. There are two statements in the question. One is discuss the mechanism of monsoon, and second one is explain how the monsoon is the lifeline of overall development. Okay, so we are going to discuss this question and what is the strategy to solve and what is the strategy to approach this question. क्या strategy होनी चाहिए भाई हमारी? तो we are just simply explain first what does it means by mechanism of monsoon, because in the first question, in the first statement of question, discuss the mechanism of monsoon. The mechanism of monsoon, it just simply means how, what, where, how. It means how the rainfall brings, where the rainfall brings, and what is monsoon. So whenever we are using the term mechanism of monsoon, it means we just try to simplify where, how, and what are the places where the rainfall brings. Okay, we all are know that the monsoon is a highly complex meteorological as well as oceanic phenomena. Monsoon is highly complex meteorological as well as oceanic phenomena which depends upon various factors various factors Okay, these various factor as follow. These factors are, you just simply, in this question there is no scope to elaborate all the forms, you just simply mention the points. Differential heating of land and sea. Second one is the movement of ITCZ, intertropical convergence zone. Third one is apparent movement of sun's rays. And the fourth one is altitude. Fifth one is latitude. Sixth one is the role of Tibetan plateau. Seven is a role of seasonal jet stream, which is known as commonly known as easterly jet stream. Easterly jet stream. Easterly jet stream. And the eighth one is Somalian jet stream. Ninth one is a Arabian high pressure. These are the responsible causes of these are the responsible mechanism which are forcing and pushing the monsoon, which brings the rainfall in India. Okay. Now, in the another part, how you can compress. The main challenge of this question is how to compress. You just simply make a circle and divide whole monsoon of India into 4 seasons, which start from 15th March to 15th June, 15th June to 15th September, 15th September to 15th December, and each you have to just simply put it all the facts around this circle. In 15th March to 15th June, what will be the condition? What will be the condition of gradually sun's rays moving towards northern hemisphere. It will lead to the condition of increasing temperature of northern hemisphere. We all know that the land is heat up faster and cooled up faster. So that if the land is heat up faster and cooled up faster, it means, suppose that this is the peninsular India and this is the equator. You have to just make this map as well, so that it will give a good mark. Land heat up faster, so it develops low pressure, and water develops high pressure, because water gradually warmer and gradually cooler. So it develops high pressure and winds are moving from high pressure to low pressure. So this is in the condition of in the 15th March to 15th June. Gradually the sun rays are moving towards northern hemisphere. Also ITCZ, also ITCZ, also the ITCZ shift towards northern hemisphere. It means ITCZ is the region of low pressure, and ITCZ is the region where both the trade winds are try to converge, and gradually in this phase Tibetan plateau gets warmer. In this plateau, in this phase, local winds are blowing. बस सिर्फ आपको लिखना है like Lu. In 15th June to 15th September, Tibetan plateau is get warmer, so it develops. अब यहाँ पे क्या करना है आपको? You just simply put it a whole map of India so that it will give you the another information about what's going on. Here there is a Tibetan plateau because the gradually sun moves northward. So because of this reason, the Tibetan plateau gets warmer, it develops low pressure. And when there is a development of low pressure, it means there is a ascendance of air. When there is a ascendance of air, because of this reason, here there is a pilation in the atmosphere. Near the troposphere, there is a pilation of high pressure. And when there is a pilation of high pressure, it means this is the area of anti-cyclone or anti-cyclogenesis. And anti-cyclogenesis, it means air is moving away from the center. So this condition, and here in North Gangetic Plain, there is a development of UP-PCS. So this one limb of the high pressure moves and try to pass over the India, because in the southern hemisphere there is a winter, so that there is a development near the surface of the southern hemisphere. There is a development of high pressure, and above this high pressure there is a development of low pressure, and this high pressure attracts this low pressure, so that this one limb of the high pressure moves. And because under the influence of Coriolis force, look at this, under the influence of Coriolis force, when it passes over the northeastern direction, because of the Coriolis force, it deflects into the rightward and it converts into the easterly jet stream. And this one limb is subsided near Madagascar and Mascarenes high, and it develops high pressure. And we all know that this is the southern trade winds which want to meet in the ITCZ, and because of this high pressure it develops and it pushes this whole wind towards the direction of southwest. Why? Because when the southern trade winds are crossing equator, under the influence of Coriolis effect or the Ferrell's law, winds deflect their rightward. तो यहाँ क्या होगा? Winds rightward move कर जाएंगे. I hope this wind is moving like this. ऊपर से ऐसे चल रहा है और surface पे ऐसे from southwest, and this is the whole mechanism. And here one limb is also subside here in the Somalian high, and it develops high pressure, and in India there is a development of low pressure, so it also pushes. Here also there is a development of Arabian high pressure, so it also pushes. So this is whole mechanism of monsoon. I hope that little definition or little concept give you the lot of understanding about what you can write. In 15 June to 15 September, it is the area of southwest monsoon, which mainly divided into two branch. One is Arabian branch and one is Bay of Bengal branch. You just simply made up this, and after southwestern monsoon, gradually the sun shift in between 15 September to 15 December. Gradually sun's rays, apparent movement of sun rays shifting down towards southern hemisphere. So this condition led to the decrease in temperature in the northern hemisphere. Gradually, we all are know that land is faster warmer and faster cooler, so that land develops high pressure. Land develops high pressure. It means in this figure you have to just simply mention that in the region of Thar desert there is a development of high pressure, and southern or the peninsular India is remaining warmer, but high pressure, it means winds are moving away from the center, so it brings one limb of high pressure crossing continental part and moving to the ocean, and oceans are warmer, they can take the moisture and hit in the eastern part of Tamil Nadu in form of retreating monsoon. Is it okay? So you just need to simply mention all these. You just simply need to mention all these, and it is the period of retreating monsoon, and from the retreating monsoon the coast of Tamil Nadu receives rainfall. ये सारी बातें, all the information is putting on this diagram, and after that from 15th December to 15th March, it is the region of, predominantly it is the region of western disturbance. So why western disturbance has been created? Because UP-PCS is totally shifted towards southern hemisphere, and the ideal position of northern trade winds shift ideally between 30° north to the towards 0°, and UP-PCS shifting towards the southern hemisphere, because after 22nd December, or you can say that during 22nd December, there is a summer in the southern hemisphere. So gradually the subtropical jet stream has been set up in their ideal location, and one branch of subtropical jet stream take the moisture from the Mediterranean Sea and bring rainfall between 5 to 10 centimeter in the northwestern part of India. So you just simply put it down all the information, because in this type of questions it is not how to explain. The main you can say that the problem of this question, how to compress all the information. Okay, now we are going to focus on the another aspects of question. What is the impact? What is the impact of, what is the impact, and explain how the monsoon is the lifeline of overall development. So we are just going to discuss how monsoon is the lifeline of overall development. We all are know that India is the agrarian economy. Our 60%, because we have the humongous population, so our 60% direct and indirect employment generates from agriculture, and we all are know that agriculture contributes more than 70% in GDP. We all are know that if monsoon is a gamble, because it depends upon so many factors. If the monsoon is delaying, suppose that if the monsoon is delaying, it means all the cropping pattern, or all the cropping pattern has been influenced. Suppose that if the monsoon is delaying, you can say that the cropping pattern of wheat, cropping pattern of paddy, the cropping pattern of Rabi, Kharif and Jaid, all these are delaying. suppose that in the southwestern monsoon period, the expected rainfall cannot be bring because of any reason, it will lead to the condition of scarcity of food. Not only food, it will lead to the condition of scarcity of sub items which made by the, you can say that the gross एग्रीकल्चरल फूड्स. जैसे मान लो वीट है तो वीट से ब्रेड भी बन रहा है, ठीक. जैसे मान लो पैडी है तो पैडी इज नॉट कंज्यूम only in the form of rice. There are so many sub products which made up by paddy. Is it okay? So it will also influence, and we all are know that we have the humongous population, and if we have humongous population, it means we need to aware the gambleness of the monsoon, because monsoon अगर एक बार gamble करेगा तो हमारे पास क्वेश्चन मार्क आ जाएगा किस पे, फूड सिक्योरिटी. इंडिया इज अ फूड सिक्योर कंट्री, बट if monsoon is delaying, if the monsoon is not proper and not coming on that particular dates, so it will disturb the overall economy, because agriculture खराब हो जाएगा. So it means we have not enough, you can say the resources which provides to feed the, you can say that the humongous population, as well as we have not enough resource to provide all the population the employments. तो भाई employment service sector भी छोटा सा ही है हमारे पास. Is it okay or not? So these are the impacts. One is it creates panicness amongst the country. It creates the kind of psychological weakness amongst the country. It can increase the, you can say the piracy of food, and it can increase the surplus food storage, which can panic the population. If the monsoon is not coming, it will burden on the India's economy, because on that year the government should increase the subsidy. If monsoon is not coming, if the monsoon is not on the time, it will increase the subsidy. It will increase the over dependency on the import of food grains. It will lead to the burden on the foreign reserves of India. So these are the impact, and that's why we are saying that monsoon is a gamble, and India is depending and hanging between that gamble. But with the passage of time, because of the modern technology, we cannot totally dependent on the monsoon, because of the so many technology has been developed and so many other irrigational methods had been developed. But still 90% of our agriculture and economy is dependent on monsoon, because if the rivers are giving water supply, rivers have need of, you can say that the rainfall which fed the catchment area of river basin. Okay, so ये एक ओवरऑल डिस्कशन है, थोड़ा मानसून का लंबा डिस्कशन होता है, आपको क्रंची फॉर्म में इसमें से पॉइंट्स निकाल के लिखने हैं. ओके, व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय एयर मासेस? डिस्कस इट्स टाइप, impact on climate. Okay, firstly look at the question. Question have so many dimensions and so many variety. What do you understand by air masses? In first statement, what do you understand by air masses? Discuss its type, the second thing, and impact on climate is third. So in this question, towards approaching, there are three keywords. there are three keywords. The primary keyword is what do you understand by air masses. Second, discuss is the tail word, and in the previous videos we have emphasis on what is the role of tail word. Okay, so go and watch. Its type and impact on climate. In this question, just simply you have to approach this question with the help of breaking in a better manner. Firstly, we just understand what kind of requirement is there. First thing is, firstly discuss what is air mass. What is air masses? In the second term, you have to just discuss its type, and in the third point you have to just discuss impact on climate. Is it okay? So in this question we are going to deal with three dimension: what is air mass, its type, impact on climate. Okay, you can start with the definition of air mass. We all are know that the term air mass came after First World War by the Barknes brothers, or the William Barknes and the son of William Barknes, Jacob Barknes. इन्होंने ये term दिया air masses after the First World War. So there is no need to elaborate all these stories. You just simplify what is air mass. Air mass is the large body of air which subside and acquire the homogeneous character of any particular region. Whenever we are using the term homogeneous, it means we are just simply means that the temperature, pressure and humidity should be uniform. So what is the air mass? Air mass is a large body of air which subside and acquire the homogeneous character of any particular region. Where homogeneous, it means that homogeneity in temperature, homogeneity in humidity and homogeneity in pressure. Okay, and then the next part of question is its type. On the basis of source region, source region, the air masses have two types. Either air mass originates on continental area or air mass originates on oceanic area. On the basis of source region. On the basis of latitude, on the basis of latitude, the air masses have either the air mass should be tropical, temperate, polar. These are the on the basis of latitude. Okay, now we are moving to the further on the basis of temperature. Air masses have two types. One is warmer air mass and second one is colder air mass. Is it okay? And we further move to on the basis of stability. On the basis of stability, there are two type of air masses. One is stable, one is unstable. Stable and unstable. So in this question we have done what is air mass and its type. Now with the help of map, you should show the examiner the areas of air masses. Okay, now this is something the pictorial map presentation of the world. Okay, now here we are going to present. Suppose that this is the continental area, this is the continental area, this is the continental area, this is the oceanic maritime area, this is the continental tropical. You should use these indicators. Continental tropical area, this is maritime tropical area, this is maritime polar area, this is continental polar area. When the any air sustain and acquires the homogeneous character of any particular region, whenever we are using the term homogeneous, it means homogeneity in temperature, homogeneity in humidity, homogeneity in pressure. So these are the air masses, and this air mass, continental tropical air mass, is warmer, so you should use these indicators. Maritime tropical air mass is warmer, you should use this indicator. Suppose that the maritime polar air mass is cooler, you can use these type of indicators. If this air mass is stable, you can use these kind of indicators. तो इस तरह का इंडिकेटर आपको यूज करना है. ओके, नाउ we are come to the point of impact of the air masses on the climate. We all are know that when the two opposite character of air masses, when the two opposite character of air masses meets on the boundary between two air masses. Suppose that this is the warm air mass and this is the cold air mass, and the boundary of connection or the boundary of two thermal contrast regions, when the two different type of air masses meets, it forms front, and front lead to the condition of cyclogenesis of the cyclogenesis. यहाँ पे cyclogenesis का process होगा, it will further form the condition of temperate cyclone. तो temperate cyclone formed on the basis of air masses when the two opposite character of air masses meets. Second impact of air mass is when the cold air mass moves and subside at a longer time at any particular place, it will reduce the temperature of that particular location, and it led to the condition of cold waves. Similarly, if the warmer air mass stay for a longer time at any particular location, it will lead to the condition of, it will increase the temperature of that particular region, and it will lead to the condition of heat waves. Okay. Now the southwest monsoon is another type of air mass which develops over a long period of time in the Arabian Ocean. So these are the impacts of the air masses. In totality, you should understand the nature of question, and you have to discuss one by one each. Whenever you are approaching the question, you should understand what is the demand of the question, what is air mass, its type, and the impact on climate. We have handled this question very well. Okay.